It's our TYREWATCHER C kit. It's a tyre pressure monitoring system for cars and four-wheel drives. You can monitor up to 5 wheels. 4 wheels will show on the display, and the 5th wheel won't show up if there is an issue with that. So this is what's in the kit. You got your manual. You've got 4 spare Panasonic batteries. So these can just be stored in your glove box when you need them. Should get around, depends how much you drive, but 16 months to over 2 years from the batteries. They all have Panasonic batteries already installed. Get 4 wheel sensors. This is the external kit here. You can see rear left. They just screw onto your valve stems. Stick pads for the display, so that's how you stick it onto your windscreen. USB charging cable, so give the unit a charge before you use it for the first time. You can also, if you don't want to mount it up on your windscreen in the sun, you can actually mount it down lower and just have it plugged in all the time. The spanner and the lock nuts, just to help stop with theft, and the spanner to put on the lock nuts and also to change the battery. And the display unit itself. So you can see the solar panel on the back there. Display. You get your 3 buttons at the top. USB port in the side for charging. And you've got a bit of movement up and down here, so you can adjust it how you need it to be. So that's what you get in your kit. Alright, so installing our TYREWATCHER C into your car four-wheel drive. So the first thing you want to do, obviously, plug the USB cable in and just plug it into a USB plug you have. Just leave the unit overnight to charge up, make sure it's a full charge. Then what you want to do is you want to press and hold the right hand button on the top up here. Hold it down for 3 seconds. Now the unit's going to turn on there, so you can see it's just showing all zeros because we don't have any of these tyre sensors screwed on. So when you're going around and installing it, is handy just to have this, just so as you screw the sensors on, you can see the pressure comes up in the right position. So here we have the back left tyre. So in here you are looking for the sensor that says RL. So fairly straightforward here. RL means right, rear left. You have front left, front right, and rear right, just like the labels on each sensor. So first we're going to spin on the lock nut. So this is mainly for theft, so you don't have to use these. Up to you. So that just screws on, screw that all the way down, screw on the sensor, the rear left one. Then we just want to keep an eye on here. So on here we can see the rear left right tyre is now reading 32 psi. So we know that's correct, and the readings come up. So now we just back the lock nut back up against the sensor and give it a tighten with the small spanner provided. That's one sensor installed. So just go around and do that same thing on each tyre. Make sure you're getting pressures on all of them, and that's the sensors installed. So you've installed the sensors, that's good, all your pressure's coming up. And now we're going to set the high and low user alarms. So you're just going to press and hold the middle button here for 3 seconds. The unit's going to beep and go into this mode here. So at the moment you can see the PSI is flashing. If I push the left or right button, it changes PSI to bar. We want PSI, so I'll push the middle button, it'll go to the next one. The temperature reading at degrees Celsius is again what we want. Push the middle button. So just by default the unit's set to PSI in degrees Celsius. So you can see our pressure upper alarm is set at 43 psi. So you can go up and down to adjust that. Press the middle button to confirm, and the pressure lower alarm is set to 29, and that's why the one that was reading 28 is flashing. So you can set that where you want it, then press the middle button, And then you got your temperature alarm, which is set at 68 degrees Celsius. So that's fine. Press the middle button, and it's taking me back to PSI, which is the start. So I'm going to press and hold the middle button again, and that's exited the menu. And you can see the 28 is no longer flashing because I changed the lower alarm. So that's basically done. We've installed the sensors. They're all reading the pressures fine, and we've set our user set like alarms. So there's also like auto alarms on here. So if the pressure increases or like decreases too quickly on a tyre, you're going to get a alarm, and if the temperature increases too quickly, you're going to get a alarm. So those are the auto alarms that you're going to get no matter what. So there's no user settings for those, and you also get like a flashing tyre when you have a low battery on your sensor, so you know that's the time to replace your sensor's battery. Next thing is just to grab your two like stick pads here and tip the unit upside down, peel them off. They can only go how they go on, so you can see they've got curved sides here, so stick one on here, stick that down, just give it a good press along there for 30 seconds or so. To the other side, we do sell replacement ones of these, so if you ever need to shift it or whatever's happening, you can just grab some more. Or if you don't want to mount it on the windscreen, like some people do, just have it like sitting on the dash with the panel sitting up with a bit of like Velcro on here or something if they have a dash mat. So that's our stick pads on now. We'll peel them off. Just the paper on the top. Two pads are peeled off. So once you've chosen where you're going to put all the units, give like the windscreen a bit of a clean, and just press it down in there. The only thing to be like wary of is if you ever need to give it a USB charge, you want to be able to get to the USB port on one side. So just make sure you give yourself enough room to get to the USB port. And that's all like stuck on now and mounted. So you can see there we have our pressures displaying, and it's stuck on our windscreen.